Have you guys ever heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Well, look what I found on the way home. I was ready to walk past it, all right? It was sitting on the floor near the trash, and I can see why. Things scribbled all over. Needs love, for sure. But I took a second look. The wheels turn, the tires are rubber, and it has a motor in the back that we might be able to tap into. And with closer inspection, look at this, watch. Look, see, I can scratch some of this off. So I might be able to just get rid of all this. Hold on, let me see what I can do. Look at that. It's like a brand new car now. And we got rid of all the tire marks that were on there. All right, let's take it apart. I want to open this up and see what's inside. Let me do that real quick. All right, so, ooh, that's more batteries than I expected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's like 9 volts. Hold on, can I make this 3S? Took off all the visible screws that I see. Now let's pry this thing apart. Okay, I use pry loosely. Yeah, that was easy. So, what do we have here? We have our ESC. Got our motor wires, servo, which is another motor, and our switch. I can kind of get rid of everything from here to forward. I'm gonna try and save that motor, but who knows, I might just throw a different one in there too. Let's see. So I got rid of the screws over here, pulled everything off over here. All right, so that's free. That's free. And this goes to the batteries, this goes to the motor, and that goes to the switch. So I guess we could just grab our snips and just start going at it. We can kind of just freely start snipping wires, even if you're kind of snipping 2 or 3 at the same time. But if batteries are attached, never, ever snip 2 wires at the same time. That's how you short out some batteries, and boom, there you go. I want to see if we can reuse that switch. If not, I'll completely replace it. No problem with that. This little mechanism here, I'm going to try and tap into. If I can get a servo horn to attach to this somehow, perfect. These are some thin wires. So I want to open this up and see what type of motor is in there. If I can replace it, we're going to. It's a pretty small motor. All right, let's get to those gears. Taking out all the screws, I'm trying to get rid of these gears, and I really don't see another way other than like just prying this whole thing apart. That's something I want to avoid doing, so I don't have to, do much gluing. So we're gonna just use this motor, I guess, and tap into it. Let's throw a higher power ESC in there, see if we can get it to spin. All right, let me walk you through the setup I have real quick. My ESC is a 2-in-1 receiver, so it has a plug-in for the servo. Have that wired up and sitting right where it's somewhat gonna be, so you guys can see how it works. I have a nickel metal hydrate battery plugged in, and these wires, I stripped them and just kind of set them inside of those plugs, so it's not a solid connection. The reason I did that is I want to swap them in case the polarity is different. Transmitter's on. Let's see, let's turn this thing on. All right, that works. Servo works. Now let's see if we got some throttle. Wants to. Sounds like it wants to. Oh, it's just stuck. It's just stuck on something. Hold on, let's move it back real quick. Does that work? No. Dang, I moved the wire. Ah! All right, those are good. Oh, yeah. Whoa, that's some speed. Go reverse? It does go reverse. Oh, yes. All right, let's put all the screws back in. We're gonna leave that motor. We're gonna use the ESC. I need to find the right battery for that. I'm gonna see if I could tap into this switch here, just so I can kind of keep it stock, and then we'll work on the servo. Soldered some plugs onto the motor wires and plugged it into the ESC. Glued the ESC down to the chassis and kind of trimmed around it too to make a little bit of room for the battery that's coming up. Now I had to use the original switch, but to be honest, it looks kind of nice on there, so that worked out. Now I'm trying to figure out that servo, and I see that this has a little bit of a gear thing going on here. And that same gear fits perfect on the servo. I'm gonna see if I can make that fit flush. So let me do a little bit of trimming. So I got the servo glued in place and the gear glued onto the end of the servo. Everything lines up perfect. Everything is plugged in. And we got steering, guys. That's awesome. All right, let me tidy up all these wires, and we have to try and find out how we're gonna get this battery into that tray. So let's button up the top and let's flip this car over. So instead of putting the battery down inside of the tray, because it really wouldn't fit, I have it mounted up here on top. And if you notice, it's a 3S. This thing was running off of 6 AA batteries, which is 9 volts. Now it's 11.1 volts. It's not too much more, but check this out. Yes. One more thing left. Yeah, that works. All right. I'm starting slow, guys. I want to see this thing move just a little bit. There it is. All right, so the turning radius is a little wide. That's it. That's it on 3S. Oh, man. I didn't get it to go that much faster, but a little bit faster. No! Oh! Starting to get how that head broke. That little bump kind of knocked the steering a bit, so now it's kind of moving right all the way. Yeah, I knew that little gear system for the steering wasn't going to be 100% reliable, but check this out. This is how we adjust the steering trim. There you go. Back in action. I mean, it's not bad. It's slow. For being a 3S, it should be a lot faster than this. It worked. We're gonna jump it. Let's see. Will it jump? Oh, no, it won't. All right, it was slow, but it worked. And for being an RC car that we just found, just a bunch of extra parts that I had lying around, and I don't know, we made something worth playing with. I'm starting to get good at these little Frankenstein builds. Wonder if we could put a faster motor in it. Okay, I'm done. That was fun.